My Own Garms.
It was just entering raffles, queuing outside of shops. Half the time I'd be up in Manchester doing little trades. It's seller's market, but you're probably talking like 10 grand, mate.
Oh, me, man.
Yeah, which
nuts money.
Which is fucked. It's fucked. But I like priceless to me, mate. They're never going anywhere, mate. You'll be there for hours with people that you've never met.
Yeah.
You've got to chat to them, and you hear their stories, they hear your stories. I think that was the best part of it for me.
Community through clothes, basically.
Community through clothes,
Nice,
and that
man.
connection through shoes.
What's happening, my mates? I'm Thomas Griffin, and this is My Own Garms. On today's episode, I'm chatting with my mate Kian Patel from the AT95 collective. Kian is deeply immersed in the world of clothes, creating visual content and real-life experiences for a diverse client list and audience. He's worked with the likes of Merrell, Barbour, Columbia, Size, Manchester United, Gander Gander, Purple Mountain Observatory, and loads of others. I've known Kian for a while now, and he's a top lad who's always generous with his time and opportunities. I'm psyched to chat to him about his journey to where he is today. Season 4 recordings are just around the corner, so if you've got any suggestions for guests, questions, or you want to send me some lovely clothes to wear, slide into the DMs and we'll make it happen. Right, let's get into this one. This is My Own Garms with Kian Patel. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. We're 3 episodes into this recording stint in Manchester, so good to sit down with someone I know even better than the other guys. So.
Definitely, I said it's nice to switch sides and sort of there's a bit of light on this side, I guess, rather than being tucked in the dark. But
yeah, man.
It's a nice change.
Nice one. What's new with you then? What's been happening recently in terms of the AT95 crew and like what you've been up to yourself?
I'd say I've been probably the most active I've ever been, to be honest. In terms of just getting outside, I've cut down sort of my days in work, and I've just sort of counteracted that with just going outdoors with a lot of new people. We've been out, I think the last time I spoke to you, I said I tried to get out maybe like once or twice a week. I think now that's sort of turned into 3-4 if possible.
Impressive, mate.
And it's been amazing, man. I've just sort of been able to connect with people, brands, and sort of experiment and just get to know myself a bit more. Take a lot of new people out and show them like the experiences that I sort of had back in the day, which is always good for me because you're always like showing someone what you sort of had, your enjoyment, and even like my people back home in work. Yeah, I think a lot of them I'll sort of take out and show them like what there is, what there is to do, because they'll I think a lot of people, especially from like Manchester way, they want to do so many things, they just don't know how to do it or how to get there or where to go or little things like timings and stuff like that. So yeah, I've just been trying to connect with a lot more people.
And you work as a chef as your kind of day job, evening job, and I know you've been taking people out from there. It's got its bonuses, hasn't it? The last trip that I saw you doing out, you were putting the chefing skills to maximum effect in the car park. What was going on there?
Well, honestly, so I don't know what it is. I just like to not make myself more problems, but I just like, if I have an idea, I want to execute it. And that was literally the night before. I said to my mate in work, I said, coming on the hike tomorrow? He was like, yeah, I'm coming. I said, right, okay, we need to set the tone right at the start of the hike, make sure people are feeling a bit comfortable. So we're going to make them food. I said, bacon butties, sausage butties, croissants, this and that. So we went to Tesco the night before with one of the chefs I work with, and he got all the stuff ready. I said, right, okay, you're going to be chefing out the back of the Cooper. We got our little gas cookers. He pre-cooked a few bits in the morning, and then once he was out there, he was in his element.
Nice,
he was just
mate.
Sort of whipping up,
cooking for the community.
Professional. I've never seen him so professional in my life. Honestly, putting the burgers in foil, and they went rapid. I said, next time we might have to make a bit of money off it and get a little tips box.
Yeah, for real. But
it set the vibe for the hike, and I think everyone appreciated it.
And that was a Columbia sponsored event, right?
Yeah, that was with Columbia, up Helvellyn.
Nice. So these community events that you're organising, the clothing brands are the kind of stuff that you like to wear are involved more and more these days.
Yeah.
Just makes it a little bit more doable for you, doesn't it? Not having to fund and like make a kind of clothes is obviously what you're into.
Yeah.
And it gives it that element to the outdoor.
Well, that's what I mean. They're
activities,
going to
reckon.
sort of provide you then with all your jackets, a load of accessories. I said that was probably one of the biggest orders I had. Had to go and collect actually because I missed the order twice at my door. And then when I've gone to collect like the boxes, they've obviously just sent out a lot of stuff for everyone that's going to come on the hike, and then us guys to sort of wear our out there so we can get a few shots and stuff. But yeah, it's always great for me. That's been a big one, just being able to sort people with gear. Because I said if I was going on a hike and I come back with like a free pair of shoes or a jacket, I'd be buzzing.
And you want to do it again, right?
Definitely. And that's the sort of little things that you remember and take away from the experience, I guess. So yeah, it was nice to be able to sort so many people out with gear, and I'm sure they like appreciate it.
Rep your ends.
You're not far from where I am, right? And by that I mean I'm Chorley and you are Bolton. Is it Bolton specifically, or is it Horwich?
West Orton. Yeah, West Orton.
But we grew up a fair few years apart. I think you're a millennium baby, right?
Yeah.
So you're
boy.
15 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So the kind of our area probably changed a lot in that time.
Definitely.
But tell me what your early experiences of clothes were in your area. I mean, kind of pre Palace and Supreme.
So I'm thinking like back to school days. Wasn't the best.
Okay.
But I have to be honest. I will be honest.
Did it just not interest you, or were you getting it wrong? Trying and getting it wrong, if you know what I mean.
There was things that interested me. I think the best way to start is some of the boys call me Super Dry Kian. And I don't know if you remember the jackets where it was like multiple zips, loads of zips, 3 sort of layers on the jacket. And I like that aspect. I like just the layering, something unique. You never really saw that sort of style.
Lots of orange pops as well. Yeah, Super Dry, right?
They loved it. And I think that was a big craze in school because everyone sort of coming with the hoodies, the bags, loads of it. And I just hooked onto that straight away. And it was the jackets for me. I just loved all the zips.
What age are we talking? Like 12, 13 maybe? First time
quite young.
When you got to high school?
Yeah. And then that was just sort of then filtered into the Palace Supreme era, and little bits came from that. I wouldn't really say that I was too much on it. Obviously I had pieces like the long sleeve that we talked about before.
Yeah.
I just had a few tees here and there. I wasn't really too caught up in it. And then I think the big one for me was just the shoes, mate.
Okay.
I think that's
where it all stemmed from.
Yeah, that's what kicked it off for me. 14, 15 upwards to where I am now, it was just entering raffles, queuing outside of shops, going chatting to people. That's half the time I'll be up in Manchester doing little trades.
Yeah.
Obviously the reselling aspect of it, that was massive. But there was always that sort of argument in like people didn't like resellers because it was like you weren't wearing your shoes.
Okay.
Which I fully understood.
Yeah.
But my argument back to even like the big stores at the time was fair enough. But with that money that I use, that I'm going to get from reselling, I'm just going to buy myself a new pair of shoes or the shoe that I want, the end goal. And a lot of the times you sort of got a lot of the stores banned you from when people would snitch. To be honest, people would snitch if they caught you reselling on, let's say, like Depop, Facebook Marketplace. There was a lot of like jealous people at the time, and yeah, it sort of just got quite toxic in a way. Even when you tried to keep yourself to yourself, people, I think that was the game.
It's weird, isn't it? Because it's a whole separate kind of little micro economy where individual entrepreneurs or just kids who wanted smart trainers are trying to exist, and like, you know, big shops make a lot of money out of little kids. Yeah. What's to say that it's not right for the kids to make a little bit of money themselves? Like, do get it from a certain standpoint, but yeah.
I always said if you're going to put the effort in, it's your shoe at the end of the day. I said half the time I think the longest camp was like 2 days outside of Sides in Manchester with, I think I dragged Nimmy down at one point. Toby came with me pretty much every time, sleeping in the cars outside of in Manchester for the SBs. And the graph was put in, and I said, once you got that shoe, that's your shoe. Whatever you do with it, you can do whatever with it. But
what lessons do you think that kind of era taught you that you still rely on today? Like, do you think it is the work that you have to put in to get something good out of it? Did it teach you camping skills because you're having to stay outside at night?
I'd say there's one story that I do want to highlight with that.
Go on.
And there's a guy he's called Quez Shoe Beats.
Right.
And I thought I was faster the drop. I thought I was the quickest at the time, but there was always one guy ahead of me, and it was this guy called Quez. He'd always give me little tips, tricks, the little tip-offs. He'd always give me the call in the morning to tell me, Kian, get down, like they're coming. And I'd always be messaging him on Instagram saying, like, we should meet up. And we never meet up because we always just seem to bump into each other in real life at random points. And I think that's the best part about it, because then we'll just sit and chat, and that's someone from like the shoe community there that I've connected with, just a complete randomer. And the bond has just been formed straight through the shoes, and just through that community aspect of you'll be at a camp and you'll be there for hours with people that you've never met.
Yeah,
you've got to chat to them, and you hear their stories, they hear your stories. I think that was the best part of it for me.
Community through clothes, basically.
Community through clothes,
nice,
and that
man.
connection through shoes, and then taking that out of that, and you might be having a meal with them like after that, or you've done your camp. Do you want to grab some food, mate? And that's that. There you are, friends made.
Nice, man.
It's insane.
Talk to me a little bit about the family, because we've mentioned Misha a few times today.
Yeah.
She's involved with clothes too. We did a little shoot for my mates in Harrogate Owl Store, where we had you and Nimi and these mad YMC jumpers and stuff like that, and she came down and did a bit of styling as well as modelling and stuff. Where did that come from? Are your parents sharp dressers, or did you inherit your interest from somewhere else?
I wouldn't say my parents are the sharpest dressers. I mean, my mum does try to be. She'll always...
What kind of stuff would she wear then? What would she wear on a family meal, or like?
I'll be honest, she just snubs our stuff, to be honest.
Does she?
Yeah, she sees everything in like in the living room, and I'll see her in that like nice little Columbia beanie. I'll be like, Mum, where do you get that from? And she'll look down and she'll run out the house. Same with the jackets. She'll just be on the hunt for different things. But now she's just sort of, she is cool. She does try. She likes the colours. I think that's where I got it from.
Okay.
Just you've seen the off-white Prestos before, and with the orange, just sort of simple stuff really, just colour matching, colour grading. She does like her blues and stuff like that, but I think that's where I picked up from her.
She's drawn a bit of inspiration from your community as well. I remember we were out on a walk or a shoot or something like that, and I think she was out on the same day with a bunch of her mates walking around. Was it paddleboarding?
Yeah, she's recently just started a paddleboarding group.
Yeah.
Because I told her I'd see her on the sofa every day. I say, Mum, right, I said, when are you going to go outside?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's good out there.
Week after, she was... she's been out more than me, mate.
Yeah.
Recently, and I've been out quite a lot. She'll be paddleboarding Saturday, Sunday, Monday, back, wash the board, and she'll be off again on the next weekend. And I'll be like, it's good to see, man. It's good to see. I think staying active is key, especially when you get to that sort of age as well. You need something to keep you going. And even that, like you said, the community aspect again. Later down the line, we might have to do like a little mum's hike, mum's walk. We'll see.
And if she's nicking all your gear, she must be the drippiest mum on the water.
Mate, she's on it. I've always made sure she's sorted with the shoes. But she's my approval, to be honest, sometimes. You've got to get the mum approval, say, Mum, what are these like? And if it's a bit of a wait, then right, okay. Get sold.
She must have an eye for it.
Nah, definitely.
Okay, yeah, we touched on it a little bit earlier on with All-Terrain 95, but you lot get out a bit. The thing that most impresses me is the number of sunrise hikes that you get on, because if I got up at 2 a.m, I'd be fucked for a week, man.
Yeah.
But you seem to do it every week. Like, tell us about a few of the places that All-Terrain's taken you, and the effect that those trips have had on you, and maybe a bit specifically about how they've had you dressing like.
Yeah. Like I say, it's up there, one of my favourites. I always say the quote that I use is, "Old man never disappoints." And I've been up there 3 times.
Okay. This is Coniston we're talking about.
Yeah,
the lakes,
Coniston.
right?
I've been up there 3 times. I think 2 sunrises and just one where everything was sort of against us. And I think that was a Columbia hike as well. And all 3 times, mate, they've just spectacular. One of them was like a nice golden. You seen the sky yesterday when we walked out. Lovely golden sky just reflecting against the clouds, and then you had your flip side, all purple at the back, and it sort of went hand in hand with sort of some of the stuff we was wearing. Recently we got a few bits sent out by Purple Mountain Observatory.
Big up them guys.
They're smashing it. I said, they keep up in the game. I can't keep up with them because I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, right, the next season's dropping. This stuff's lovely. But yeah, they sent out sort of a jacket, and the first thing I was thinking was we need that clean sort of sky in the morning, that fresh sort of look. And it's quite, I think it's like a purple, sort of like a light lilac purple.
Yeah.
So I said to the boys, like, right, we're going up for sunrise, seeing what we get. And those are the exact tones that we got. And yeah, just sort of shot the shots, went out, and it was a good morning. Nice. I say you can never beat the sunrises.
I've seen the sun come up, but I've never seen it from a mountaintop. I'll have to get on with you soon.
Definitely, man. Definitely. I think it's just it is the thrill, but I think also to highlight the sort of, a lot of the time I'll be going with people from my work who have never done a mountain before, and I'll put them in the deep end and I'll say, right, okay, you're staying at mine tonight, so I know you're waking up. We're not getting much sleep, maybe like an hour, if that, and we're going straight through, no brew, then back again into work after that. And they're always knackered, so am I, because I think that's the hardest part. I think the hardest part is waking up. And if you can do that, you can do the rest of it. That's what I say. Even if you've never stepped foot on a mountain, I think the amount of people that I take out that have never done it before is brilliant, because they smash it every time. No moaning, straight up, and they feel good at the top. And I think that's the best part.
But if you're walking up hills at 3 a.m. in autumn, winter in the UK, you need to make sure you're rigged out, like with
the
gear that's going to work. I mean, maybe you won't die, but you'd be uncomfortable.
But this
pretty uncomfortable.
No, it is true. I sort of just say because obviously a lot of the guys in work have, like I said before, they've never really been up mine, so they need the right gear, the right shoes. So that's where I've been quite lucky in a way to just sort of collate quite a lot of stuff from all these brands, and I just sort of have it in my house. And when they come round, I say, right, go and pick your outfit, go make your outfit, and I just obviously then swing people a few jackets. I always have spare bits that I can give to people to make sure they're all right, and then get them up safely and bring them down, make sure they're okay.
Nice, mate.
But I think that's when the sort of the clothing aspect comes in hand with the outdoors for me, because I like just as much finding a spot, but I also like matching a fit together, or maybe like styling someone. Like my sister, I'll sort of put her in certain bits, say, you've got to wear that and that. So I don't like them, I go, no, that's what you're wearing, let's go.
Hardline stylist, mate.
It's quality.
The all-terrain collective is quite sprawling now, and in terms of geographical locations, you've got mates like, I'd say all over the world. You made mates in Romania. One of your pals is out in East Asia. Was it Sean's out there? Like, what influences the kind of like global reach of it had on how you dress? And is it introduced you to new brands from different countries, or like way people dress in other countries? Definitely.
I'd say Sean was the biggest one, because he had we did a lot together while I was over here, and I sort of said to him, I said, listen, you need to take the account global and just chat to as many people as you can. I said I'll send him a list of brands that I want him to go to, or shops out in Japan. And that's what he did. He'd send me, I told him, I said, just go over there and sort of show him what AT is, show me who you are, and make them connections. And he'd just be sending me unbelievable stuff, man, from like shops out. The shops, I think it was a Snow Peak shop out in Japan. Yeah. And its layout was just unbelievable, mate.
It's so sick, innit? The shops are amazing.
Yeah.
Full Snow Peak rig for me today.
There you go, man. There you go. I love them. The guy I was travelling with now, I think he's ended up in Australia, and he's made like a TN Connect. And I think the wave for TNs have sort of come back now. And he'd be sending them over from Australia, because I think it hits them first, then America, then us.
Mad.
It's just about connections, I feel, and obviously just chatting to people and seeing what you can sort of do. But then even he'll be sending me some brands over that I've never seen before, and I'd be like, mate, like I need a few pieces from them. Yeah. But I think that's the beauty of especially Japan, is they start a lot of it, and then it takes its time to come over to us. Yeah. And by that time they're on to the next thing. It's just like a sort of cycle that goes around.
Yeah, it seems to be a bit of a recurring theme on My Own Garms. Everyone's eyes are fixed to the east, like Japan does it first and better. So the more, if you've got a person on the ground over there,
you're laughing.
Puts you in a good spot, man.
That's not me.
I know you're still pretty young, so you might not have been through quite as many eras of shame as some of our guests, but are there any that you look back on and think, nah, that's not the one for me?
The ones I highlight is the bloody bait blazer.
Okay.
That's...
Tell me about this.
It's incredible. I went on a cruise with my friend James.
Right.
And his family. There was just a spare spot last minute, and I was like, yeah, I want to go on a cruise. So
For real, mate.
I just sent it with him and his family, and it was like one of the nights was like a really posh meal around the table, like family sort of meal. And James told me, he was like, oh, just make sure you just bring like a suit jacket. And like, I'll be honest, I never really had like too many. I didn't really have many smart clothes. This was like my prom suit jacket. Just
you
like
don't when you're 16. Why would you?
Well, there you go. And all I had at the time was my babe top, just like a white with the red like babe monkey, the red ape, and I pulled up to the meal with this top underneath and just a blazer over the top. And I think everyone else was there in like suit, ties, smart shoes, and then there was just me there with my babe blazer.
Repping, mate.
And that's what I sort of nicknamed as. That was me.
Blazer. I love. Is there a fit pic of that knocking about?
There will be somewhere. Yeah, I'll have to do my digging.
We'll dig that one out. Flash up in the top corner. It's a look, mate.
Yeah, that was.
Pharrell was doing t-shirts and blazers at that time.
There you go. Maybe.
I don't know if it was a nod in that direction.
Potentially, man. Potentially. I don't know what shoes I was wearing with it, but it was definitely a funny one.
Probably something with the laces matched to the colour of the t-shirt.
Red laces.
So All Terrain is named after one particular model of night trainers. It was getting its props yesterday from a couple of our guests.
Yeah.
It's named after the iconic Air Max 95. Let's zoom in a little bit on that trainer, its history and its enduring cultural relevance. Tell me a little bit about how your interest in the 95 began and then developed.
The most important part for me was our first mountain together as a group. And we had no idea of gear to wear, jackets, shoes. The only things we had were our 95s. And I say we had 15 people out that day, and everyone was in 95s. And it's probably one of our most dangerous hikes, to be honest. I think we went up Snowdon via Watkins Path, and it was torrential rainstorms on a sunrise for our first one. It was horrible, mate. We were soaking onto rocks to try and keep us firm. And I think the moral behind the story was that we all made it up and we all made it down in these shoes, and we were going across sketchy ridges, but they still held firm. I mean, obviously they weren't the best for being waterproof, but sturdy. They did the job, and they held together fine. And I think ever since then, I think there's all the hikes we do, always one of the boys stays true and is always repping, which is why I love it. And then that's sort of why we named the page All Terrain 95. I think we just wanted a number on it, and it was like, right, we'll just go with that. That little sort of fact just sort of stuck with us in the end. But I just like the fact that they...
But on the outdoor element of them, they are sturdy compared to...
They are, mate.
They've got that elastic in the sides that keeps the tongue in place. You know, 90s and 97s, which I've always been a fan of, they look cool, but in terms of if you were to pick one trainer to go all terrain in, it would be the 95. And now we've got like variants that are more waterproof, that are kind of built for the outdoors.
You sort of see that in the way that brands have done stuff, and you see that even with, I think it's the Cortezes, or there was like an orange and cream pair, and they've put the drawstring on them. Yeah. And I'm thinking, it's coming. It's coming. Like the brands know it's that the Gore-Tex ones, and you're thinking, right, okay. They know that they're slowly getting to that final hiking shoe aspect of it, and I think that's where eventually it'd be my goal, mate. I'm gonna have to keep knocking on the door at the end of the day and trying to push that.
An AT95, 95.
The AT95, get you, like we said the other day, get your big chunky Vibram sole on the bottom. Maybe somehow keep the bubble incorporated in that. I don't know. I mean, there'd have to be a lot of technical work behind it. Man. And I'd have to find the right team to...
Have you ever popped a pair on the trails?
I have, I bought a very old pair of, I don't know if you've seen the Sunsets. The bubble's like half red, half blue. Half red, half yellow, sorry. And I took them up Red Scree on a sunrise just to get the shots, and got to the top, stood on the podium, gone. But that was that was one when you don't wear your shoes, you sort of, especially with 95s, after time they start to crumble because they just get weaker.
Yeah.
And a lot of my pairs I've got a few flappy paddle gearboxes where the bottoms just sort of come up and it's flapping. And it's a shame. It is a shame, but at the end of the day, like I do just love putting them to the test, mate.
Yeah.
Especially recently, I just take them out because a lot of the time they just go on with the outfits. They're easy to put on, they're comfy. I can drive in them, get me to where I need to be.
But we were talking recently about these like mutant 95s and putting a more outdoory type sole on it.
Yeah.
And I guess these pairs that are popped or disintegrated, they can become donor parts for the for these kind of projects. And you don't feel you won't want to buy a box fresh pair of 180 quid trainers and cut the sole off.
Mate. That's sort of what I wanted to go down, that sort of route, is look at all the shoes that I've sort of got and pick the best bits of maybe each ones or a few and make your final shoe. I'd love to have my own shoe.
Yeah.
And that's eventually what will happen. I think it'd be amazing.
Nice, man. Well,
Definitely.
I mean, this is something that I've seen you do a lot as well, like taking existing shoes and tweaking them, flipping them, like some of the kind of dip dye stuff that you've done.
Yeah.
Like points to your creativity in that particular, like you're creating DIY versions of the shoes that you want to wear, basically. The colours, the kind of, the drippy,
definitely.
like messed with take on them.
I think I've got to shout out Ricky G Tats on Insta, because if it wasn't for him, then I'll be honest, a lot of them wouldn't have made it through. And I think his best pair is on the 95s that he did, and it was with. So first we started with the dip dye technique, and we'd spray on water.
Were you doing Solomons?
Patterns. Yeah, we did a few. The Solomons came out nice actually, and we just sort of dipped the grip into the paint, pull them out of the water, and it would sort of stick. But obviously the practicability of that was poor, because you take them. I think we took Nimmies on the mountain, and gone.
Yeah, but just leaked a trail
they're
of
more
like
just
paint.
one for like a nice little what do you call it, shelving piece if you like. But I've just always liked that aspect of, especially with shoes and even clothes, of the meaning behind it, and having something special, whether that's the box that stands out or it being like limited, numbered. That's the sort of attachment that I've got with Garms. And I think the key one is the hunt as well. I think that's an important one to highlight. Like, I think was it Matt that said it yesterday, that it could be like a 2, 3, 4 year hunt for a piece, and when you get that full outfit together and you've finally done it, it's like, wow, like I'm happy now, on to the next.
Yeah, but lasts long, does it sometimes?
Yeah, with the custom shoes, it's just allowed me to just create sort of different things, be a bit funky sometimes, be a bit stupid, but have no pressure at the same time. You're just seeing what you can come up with.
Yeah, man.
And I think it's got my head ticking, and allowed me to just sort of highlight some of my friends' skills and show what they're capable of. But yeah, Ricky G's good with it. He'll be taping up like the side of the shoe so no paint gets on like the top layers, and then he'll just be by hand, mate.
Yeah.
Just spray painting the gradient over the bottom of the grip, and they come out fantastic.
Sick, man. I'll have to look them up. I don't think I've seen them.
Definitely.
So we talked about a 95, which is a retro shoe now, best part of 20 years, best part of 30 years old, isn't it? Nuts. But another retro interest, a retro creative interest of yours, that you've kind of made a part of your creative and professional life, is film photography, analog photography. Yeah. Where did the interest in that come from?
I'd say it first started at the house parties back in the day, when we were like 14, 15. We'd be begging Mum Mum, can we chuck a party tonight, just me and the boys? And then I think it was Toby first. He bought down like an old camera just from Boots, an old
single use kind of thing.
Yeah, just what they call, just a little disposables. That's the one. And we went through the whole roll that night. I'm talking, we were doing some crazy stuff. We were like on the roof. He was on the bottom taking some shots. Obviously, everyone was in just these wacky outfits. I think it might have been Halloween. And we went to get that developed in Boots, and they lost our roll. And they said, we don't have your roll. And we were like, right, okay.
Focus.
And then we went back. We did it, and we did it the next party, and I think that's when it sort of started. And it was just always, I just loved the fact that there was just 36 shots. and that was it. I didn't have to spend too much time on my phone taking all these pictures. It was just like, that's what you get. And the way they came out, I just loved at the time. And I think that sort of then seeped into, we got a bit older and we'd go to like concerts and stuff like that. We'd always take the camera with us and we'd always wait behind after the show and try and get a shot of like the artist. And we did that week in, week out, and that just turned into what it's sort of when I went over to Houston and shot Trav.
Sick.
I think that's sort of what it led up to. Just that hunt and that chase for these artists and the hunt for the shot. Very similar with the clothes. It was just sort of the hunt to get that perfect shot, and when you're in this situation, taking it. Yeah. And I think that was the best part about it.
And doing it on something finite and rare and that can't be digitally recreated so too unique, easily.
Yeah. And even the story behind the cameras as well. Like I think before that trip, I had 2 of my Olympus MJ2s that I had in Romania at the time, and both of them broke in the space of a week. So I had no cameras to take to like America and I think it was Astro World and take to the concert. And I was panicking. I was like, I need a camera. Like, I need my camera. And I went around the whole of Romania. I was looking in like Fujifilm shops, and I went in one. Everything was covered in dust, blankets on everything. And a woman came out and she says, "Oh, we've not got any cameras. I'm sorry, like we're sort of closed." As I'm walking out the shop, she runs out and she pulls out this Kodak camera, dusty, in a packet, and she gives it me. I said, like, how much do you want? I'll give you anything. She goes, take it.
Mad.
And then that's the camera that I took to America and
magic, mate.
Did the business on. But
that's sick.
It's amazing.
I think, like, I do a little bit of film photography, but mine and your take on it's very different. I think when you start shooting at parties on disposables, you do a very kind of instinctive shoot from the hip type thing. Yeah. My first experience with analog cameras was with Pentax K1000. That's my KX there, and you have to stand around, get your aperture right, deal with this clanky kind of exposure meter and stuff like that, and it's quite a painstaking process. But when I've been out with you taking pictures, it's just like idea, blam,
bang,
done.
I'll take that.
And I think that's something that goes through your photography work, the kind of like instinctive
just
nature of it.
Go with it and not to think too much. I think a lot of the time I was a big overthinker. I wouldn't take the shot because I think, right, it's not perfect. But then as I've got a bit older, you start to realise that nothing's perfect really. You can't, for me there's no such thing. You can try get as close to you can, but that's just sort of the idea that you make in your head of that. And I think sometimes it sort of makes people miss out a lot in life as well. Just that not doing it and not sending it. And I think that's the most important part. Just take the shot and go with the flow.
And I think in terms of it, that's relationship to clothes. Like I'd probably take quite a staged still picture, but a lot of the stuff you get is stuff in action, stuff moving and the kind of like speed and pace of it all. Yeah,
people just doing karate kicks off rock, stuff like that, and just trying to capture that perfect spot. And I think that's another thing I always try to look out for. Is I'm always on. It's when I'm up the mountain sort of thing, and people being there in the gear, and it's just sort of then right, okay, wait for the shot until he's in front of that rock that's the same colour as his jacket. Little things, and you sort of know it's coming, and then bang, it's just taking it, man. Nice, just taking it.
Top 3 selected.
This is a bit of a niche one. We have kind of nerded out on 95s already.
Yeah.
But I want from you, because I know you're a scholar, a top 3 Air Max 95 colourways and a quick reason why each one's so special.
Can I make it easy for myself?
Go on then.
Can I do based on the ones that I've got? Is that right?
Man, you've got more than 3 pairs. Go
on. I'd say my top pair. That's still difficult, man. That's very difficult. I'd say my top pair would be my denims.
Okay.
I just love the jean gradient on the side, the denim gradient, the black, the grey, and then I think it's the sort of like cream and the way that they've mixed. And then I've beaten them up, and I think they look better beaten up.
Aged jeans look best, man.
Yeah, beautiful.
And are they called denims because it's literally denim material on them?
Yeah, and it's the brand that the brand that they collabed with is called Denim.
Okay,
and
right.
Even the box that they came with, they came in like two. Each shoe got like a sleeve sort of thing, and it was like a scissor bag, a nice cutout on the cardboard box on the night tick. It was just the details to them are unbelievable.
Sick,
and I
man.
think that as a whole is why they're my number one.
Yeah, it's pretty special when you get a limited release or a collaborative thing through, and the whole experience, the box is special.
I love it.
Like, yeah, it counts for a lot.
Number two, I'd say my LA to New York's, which I haven't worn yet because I always said I'm waiting for the trip to New York until I bust them out.
Sick.
And the story behind them is that I could never find them. I could never find them because they only released in Nighttown in New York. And I did have a guy at the time who was over there, and I said, mate, like, you're going to have to get me this shoe. And they only had a size 7 at the time, so he just said, I couldn't get them, pal. 2-3 years went by. I just gave up looking, to be honest with you. And then we had a mate from back home, Jay's Air Max, and he collects like a lot of Air Max, and he popped out two, a size 10 and an 8. And me and Toby were laughing. We was like, mate, like, how have you got them?
Nuts.
And he sorted us out for, I think it was like, 120, bro. 120. And
That's bargain, is it? These is a globally sought after shoe.
still, yeah, I don't think they go for. Well, no, they do actually. It's just the fact that you can't find them.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest part is locating them. And the lace, I'll have to show you the laces on them. You've got like orange and purple, or orange and yellow. It's to incorporate like the New York colours and the LA colours.
Yeah.
And it's based on. I don't know if you know Sheck West.
No, go on.
He's like a rap artist, and he had like a little bit of influence on the shoe. So it's based on his like journey going from LA to New York.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just sort of love the idea behind that, and I've always said I wanted to go and get my fit pick in New York one day in them. So they'll be in the box until ever since. Yeah.
That's sick. Yeah, kind of inspiring you to travel through the clothes that you wear.
There you go.
You get it, man. I look forward to seeing that one when it occurs.
Yeah, hopefully. I said it would be probably just be in the centre of New York with your big billboards.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'll find somewhere. Definitely.
Yeah, with that naked cowboy in the background.
Yeah.
Go on. What's the
number
third one?
3. It's gotta be the Cortezes. I'll be honest, and that's quite funny because I say I don't really rate the brand, but I knew he'd get me at one point.
Okay.
I said I rate him as a person, don't get me wrong. I said I rate everything and the ideas and the creativity he has behind what he's doing and the way he pushes his stuff out. And then the shoes came along, and that's when I was swaying. The shoes are insane. I think it's the blue pair. I got the blue and the pinks, but the blue pair for me just so easy to wear, man. And I think I took them out on the mountain as well, just beat them up. And yeah, they're just the day-to-day beaters.
Are they made a bit like chunkier than normal?
They do fit bigger. They do fit
look
bigger,
like
yeah. They fit slightly bigger, and they've also not got the tabs, which I noticed the other day.
Okay.
So they've not got no tabs on them, which is interesting. And then obviously you've got your little pull cord, but not the pull cord, the
lacing
tightener,
system.
yeah, the little lace tightener thing. But yeah, the colours you used on them are amazing. And obviously put that green pair out at first, and I think I was like, ooh, I don't know about them. And then hit him with the pink and the blues, and I was like, wow, he's done a madness.
Nice, man.
But yeah, 95s, there's too many.
It's nice to hear from someone who's such a knowledge on them, speak with such passion on them.
Yeah, there's a lot of pages as well that I shout out. Cheshire Creps, Blockboy KP, all of them boys, even from back in the day, back through the shoe game, that's how I met a lot of them, and they're the true ones. They're the ones that like keep it going. Essentially, the proper core community.
And if any nerds want to check out an online page, KP Stocks.
Yeah, I mean, I've sort of been off it recently. I've sort of just tried to merge it all into one. But this was my from 14 to 20, you could say. That's everything. Every shoe that I'd get, every shoe that it was the same sort of principle of I'd get my shoe and I'd come to Manchester or go out and find a location to match it, whack a post up. And that's sort of what it is now. That's sort of what stuck. But yeah, sort of brought that creativity out in a way. Because I go to all sort of lengths, even just the fit picks with the shoes that I put on feet. Be sitting on hay barrels, doing just the wildest stuff that will come to your brain, and then try and do it the next day.
You mentioned Manchester there. That's where you made your trips to get your shoes. Let's touch on Manchester United, because we've been to the match together a couple of times.
Yeah.
Got our own little routine. Bunny
We'll have
jacket.
to,
Bunny, go on,
we'll have to get the
whack it
shirt
out.
out. We'll have to get the shirt out. Right.
So this is a United third strip from, I was guessing 97 before.
Yeah, I mean...
Tell us a bit about it.
This one I just... you've seen all like the retro football hype at the minute, and obviously throughout summer. And I've had a fair share of my old kits, but they're like this small. They don't fit me anymore.
Yeah.
And even the ones that my dad and my mum got me back in the day, they're tiny. Got like a little Kian number 7 on the back, but
cute.
they're too small. So I said, I want a nice one for holiday. And I just sort of... Yeah, I was looking and I thought the blue and the white is just sort of the reverse, the flip side of Man United.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, that's sort of a nice standout piece for holiday. And yeah, just sort of went with it.
Well, there is United history to blue and white, isn't there? I mean,
Definitely.
it says 68 on it. ECF, European Cup. Is it European Cup
Wembley.
final? Okay.
I want to say...
It's got the names of loads of players like
Yeah,
woven
on the
into
side.
it, hasn't it?
It's
Which is
beautiful,
mad.
man.
Mark Hughes, Les Sealy, I can see there.
Yeah, Edwards.
Cantona. And a lot of
All the
names that I
OGs.
don't know. Like, so it's a kit that celebrates United's past
History. I love it.
But yeah, I mean, you've been a fan for a long time, obviously.
Yeah.
Did you inherit that from your parents, or did they just get forced to buy
You
your
know
kits?
what? It was my cousins.
Okay.
And so my dad was a Spurs fan, and mum's a Pool fan,
Okay.
which is horrible.
Yeah.
And we'd always go around my cousin's house, and they're all big United fans. And yeah, every match day I'd be around there, and that's sort of where I picked it up from. And then you never used to really get the chance to go to many games. It was sort of like a far stretch. Like it was, I'd maybe go to like one just because a friend of a friend of a friend has a ticket, and that was when I was very young. And then didn't go to games for ages. And
were you like me? When I was little, it was so hard to get United tickets.
Very
And
hard,
my dad took us to watch Wanderers a lot. Like I went to Burnham Park when I was little, and that was my experience of literal terraces, like wooden stands and stuff like that.
That's what it was, man.
And I know you're from Bolton, and there's no love lost between Wanky Wanderers and United.
Well, there you go, man.
If you want to watch football, that's kind of where I ended up going.
I said I'd done my bit for Bolton, to be honest. I was on the pitch.
Yeah.
Made it onto Sky Sports with a little flare in my hand, part-time hooligan, but it was one of them, man. I just love football. I love football, and obviously your club's your club and you do anything for them.
But in recent years, like you've gone from fan to doing what must be a bit of a childhood dream and actually doing some creative work with them. United have got a separate Instagram called
We Are United.
We Are United, which often features your work, and it's got
a lot
to the
of
point now where it's almost collaborative between what you do at times, right? Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, I think that's just like a big sort of lifestyle page in a sense, and you sort of see it with a lot of football clubs nowadays, and it's sort of the shift that it's going. I don't know if you've seen the Arsenal Marahishi stuff recently.
Yeah.
And you've got Saka coming out the back of a Land Rover printed in a Marahishi print, and I'm thinking, I've had that idea before.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's exactly what I'd do if it was with United, and I loved it. I did love it. I've always loved like the sports mafia style stuff as well, like the on the block, ballied up, people in kits, these insane football pitches out in like Croatia on the side of beaches. I think that's the all-terrain aspect that I'm trying to capture from it, and it's just going to these crazy places and keeping the football with it, but having like a mad sort of backdrop at the same time. And yeah, I think with Man United it's been amazing because it sort of just started off with someone getting into contact saying like, I like what you're doing with the page.
Yeah.
I've seen you all United fans. Let's get you involved. And like for me, that was like music to my ears, mate. I couldn't believe it. And then shout out Elliot, by the way, because he's the man.
Elliot's involved with the We Are United.
Yeah,
page.
he runs like a lot of the social media on Man United. And yeah, he just had this interest in all-terrain, which was brilliant, mate, because it just sort of meant that I could then portray it to the boys, and you seen how happy they were. And even like then, their parents who were United fans were like, it was crazy, man. It was crazy.
I guess it kind of justifies it to an older generation a little bit, because they're not going to be interested that you've got a collaboration with Purple Mountain Observatory or Gander Gander. But when you put a name that's been established for hundreds of years, like Manchester United, they'd be like, oh, okay, this is
it's serious now,
legitimacy to this.
Definitely, and I think credits to Man United as well for sort of giving us the creative freedom and keep letting us keep our style.
Yeah.
In a way, so they just sort of sent out a few a bit. It was some of the Terex gear at the time.
Yeah.
And they just sort of said, you do you. Where a lot of the time there's a lot of restrictions. You've got to stick to this, and it takes away your true style of like what you actually want to portray.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've just gone up the mountain with a few of the boys, shot some gear, took a ball up with us, and then sent them everything back, see what they liked, and that was that. And then when you see your mates' bloody faces on the social media, and it's like your work, your pictures.
Yeah.
It's unreal, mate. It's almost hard to believe at times, but it's just more motivation for me to try and exceed that barrier and hopefully get them back to where they should be, mate.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's fun off the pitch, but it's pretty hard work on the pitch this season.
There you go. We got to do our bit off the pitch, and I think it's sort of then tied into the film shots because I'll always take my camera to the game, and even now you'll be seeing a lot of retro tees. So I'll just be on the lookout for crazy t-shirts, stuff that I had a guy the other day. I should get my shot soon actually. And it was before the City game, and he's pulled up his shirt, and it's just a mad picture of Cantona. I just grabbed the shot quickly. He's got his pint in hand, and I think that's the beauty behind it. Just the
spontaneity.
Yeah, and the people you sort of meet through football, and even the clothes.
Yeah,
the
man.
Stone Island story.
So
was...
me and Kian were in the pub before the game, and Kian saw this lad in a Stone Island jacket without a moment's hesitation, was straight over to him. It's like, this one's sick, man. Like,
Yeah.
You see a lot of them about at the football, but this one particularly caught your eye. And then next time I saw you, like a couple of months down the line, he's got it. Like,
I told him, I said to him, I've been looking for that for years and years and years, and I said, I give up, mate, because for one, no one would sell it me. The one that I found, there was a lot of time wasted on Depop, so I just give up. And then I seen him at the game.
Yeah.
Well, in the pub before, and I went up to him and I said, mate, like that's my jacket.
yeah.
And he wasn't biting, so I just took a shot of him on film, and I said, I'll get you details. And yeah, that's when the real work went in. I nagged him.
So this is the actual, did you buy this off him?
I bought this off him. I said, I nagged him after that. And he wouldn't bite, mate, for like a week. And me, I just kept going. I said, mate, I need it. Give me your price. And eventually he bit. And yeah, went and picked it up, and that was that.
Nice, man. Oh, I didn't notice the actual one. That's an even better circularity to that story.
Honestly, I was buzzing, because that's just that weight, that thing that I was on about before, the hunt for the piece that you've been after for so long.
Yeah.
And when you finally get it, it's unreal.
Delayed gratification, man.
Yeah.
It's something that's missing in a lot of areas of lives these days. So if you can introduce it into what you do,
100%.
I imagine it feels good. Tell me, I mean, you've got an enduring love for Manchester United since childhood, but another of your enduring passions that seems to have gone from your kind of school days to now is Travis Scott. And obviously he's like fashion icon, cultural icon, music icon. He's been a real reference point for what you've done for quite a long time. What do you think gives him that enduring appeal?
The way he just does his fit picks, man. I think that's sort of what I picked up from him, was just he'd have his crazy outgoing outfits, and he'd match that with like an outrageous car at the same time, an outrageous location, but he'd just be in the same, stood in the middle in that same pose he always does. But in these wild outfits, man, and I think that's what it sort of tried to be with myself, is just get your outfit and go match it to the background, and see how crazy you can make it in a way, and sort of test yourself as well while doing that, whether that's the testing, finding the locations or the hunt, or even just how long it takes to get your outfit. I think with him as well, like, he's in sort of so many markets. And I'll come back to the shoes again. That's sort of what kicked it off in a way. That's why I got into my shoes. And when I was reselling to buy his collection. Yeah. And essentially that sort of led up to getting them signed in. I don't know if you've seen his Jordan 1s, the brown ones.
All right.
With like the reverse night tick. And me and my mate Noah, we ended up getting them signed in Houston, and that was like the end goal. That was it. That was the story wrapped up. Yeah.
Nice.
But that all came from the work back in the day of like queuing outside with your mates. all the graft and getting all these shoes and then putting it into like what you did your collection.
Yeah. So have you still got them Jordan 1s signed?
Yeah, I've got his missing one at the minute. I've got his all his collection and then them signed ones. Yeah, but
Have you had them valued?
it's seller's market.
Yeah.
But you're probably talking like 10 grand, mate.
Fuck me, man.
Yeah, which
nuts money.
Which is fucked. It's fucked.
Wild.
It's fucked. But like priceless to me, mate. They're
Yeah.
never going anywhere, mate. They're never going anywhere.
Wild.
But
I mean, they're nice, but if they were 10 grand,
yeah,
they'd be straight out the door.
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to think, but
Yeah.
that whole story in itself was
priceless.
Was unbelievable. Yeah, I think
Nice,
that was
man.
a big one for me.
Next hype.
What is on the cards for you then, mate? Have you got a winter ski trip planned? And what is going to be hot on the slopes this season? I
mean, that's an interesting one actually. I recently picked up two pairs of skis from the charity shop.
Yeah.
Like £15, dirt cheap. So I'm going to buy the boots from Facebook Marketplace, and then I was out in, do you know where Clitheroe is? And we went past like an artificial ski ramp.
Yeah.
So usually I go to maybe like Romania or Bulgaria. Flights are really cheap. I'll just stay with Noah and we'll head to the mountains. But yeah, I'm going to try it on this ski slope. Maybe get like a nice outfit planned and try just get some shots, and then take that maybe to the lakes, Wales, and eventually up to Scotland if I can.
Yeah.
And just try conquer, see what the UK's. Maybe just build a couple of my own slopes and just do some tricks. See what happens, man. See what happens. But yeah, I think that's the plan this year. I did want to go to like one of the big locations like France or something like that, but
Yeah.
I think obviously they're quite expensive. So I don't mind testing these out in the UK.
Yeah.
Having a bit of fun here first, and then seeing that.
I think the second-hand clothing market, because it is such like a bougie pastime. A lot of the people that do it, mad rich.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for second-hand, or maybe not even I was on Vinted the other day. The first thing I ever bought. I've been on Vinted much.
Yeah, I've recently just downloaded it.
So
sort of
sick,
stuff.
man.
That's where I got this from, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like I found you got much better. It seems like a real clothes heads. Depop was like that, but Vinted seems like that, but half the price somehow.
Well, there you go, and they've not got the fees as well, so it's banging.
I got this full Goldwyn skiing rig, Japanese, like it's not old Goldwyn that you do see go cheap. It's the new stuff.
Yeah.
Jacket, 3-layer Gore-Tex, like mad techie, bright orange. You probably like it actually.
Yeah.
And then these nuts blue Goldwyn ski trousers, like full Gore-Tex, and it was 60 quid on there for everything. And I was like, really? I thought it was going to be a scam at first.
Yeah.
And I got it through. I was like, this is nuts. And I think with second-hand ski gear, this was brand new as well. Still had the labels on everything, which is wild.
That's insane.
But with ski gear particularly, because a lot of the people that are selling it probably like, just get some new shit.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, it's an expensive sport to do, and culturally it's kind of like bougie as well.
Yeah.
So there's some real bargains to be had if you look in the right
it's
places.
true. That's where I got
think.
a lot of my Facebook Marketplace, mate. I picked up my goggles and my gloves and even my salopettes from, I think it was all in Wigan, from 3 different places.
Yeah.
And I did a round trip on the same day, and I was like, surely it's not that easy.
Yeah.
And I got them all for under 100.
Nice, man.
And then we was just off out skiing in Romania last year, which was top.
It would be nice to be rigged out in box fresh Montclair and like premium skier gear, but if you're going once a year, like it's tough to justify, man. I'll do most things for fashion, but I don't know if I could go whole hog on something I'm only going to wear for 4 days a year.
Well, there you go. I think last year, what did I wear? It's when I got 2 of my pieces. I wore this. I took this with me and the big Wonder jacket, and I just said I wanted to just get like a fit picking both of them up right at the top of the mountain. So we'd get the ski lifts to the top, and then we'd march right to the top, get the shot, and then obviously ski down. But it was it's unreal. Even with the whole ski attire, I love the big goggles. There's so much to it. Your big jackets, them inflatable like ACG ones. I put Joel in that, and I said, listen, a nice shot out of the top will be banging. Next
on the cards, I mean, we were talking about places that people might not have thought of to go skiing. Romania, Bulgaria. You reckon they're going to get a big kind of surge of younger people wanting to go there because it's more accessible to go and have a good week there and not have to spend 2 months' wages on it.
I say, especially Romania, hidden gem. Hidden gem. I'm going back at the end of this month. My friend just got a little DJ set over there, Noah, but even the people, man, the people are lovely.
Yeah.
Everything's dirt cheap, and I think even on the ski resorts, I think the most expensive thing is the bevs. That's it.
Yeah.
I think once you're over there, your rental's like 12 to £15. It just makes things easy at the same time. Like, it just means that it's one less thing out the way, and then I can just concentrate. Right, get skiing, get all the boys out and all this clobber, and let's go take some shots.
Sick. Well, I've got my vintage bargains now. I'm going to have to get
You'll have to
a ski
come through,
trip
honestly,
plan
mate.
myself,
Definitely,
man.
definitely.
See how my knees hold up to it at 38 years of
Nah,
age.
you'll be sweet, man. You'll be sweet.
What's on the cards next for All Terrain 95? I know the community building aspect of it's been massive recently, like out all the time, events, sponsored events. But what have you got planned that's more on the like specifically clothing side of things?
There's like a few bits that have come through recently. Shout out Merrell on the pants.
Yes, mate.
First starting today. So yeah, just taking bits that sort of get sent and
Good to work
experiment with them.
with local brands like Merrell Cloth.
Yeah, mate. I've from the beginning. I mean, we did our first T-shirt with him. Lovely fella, and he just gets stuff done. He gets stuff done, and he's creative with it as well. I like the way he puts out his campaigns, and even the people he works with are top.
And it's sick gear, man. Like, I got a T-shirt for the Earth Day, and it's the solidest T-shirt that I've got. The neck doesn't wrinkle. It's like, I was talking to my mate Alex. I saw him on Insta with one of the caps the other day, and I was like, "That's Merrell Cloth." He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm a big fan. It's the best cap I've got. Like, it is quality gear."
Well, it's crazy because I'll be going around in the Merrell Cloth. Like, people like that Merrell Cloth. I was like, I know that, and this is like my boys from back home.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, he's got a very good community. He's got a very good circle here. And his network's fantastic, man. But I always said, working with Ted, so professional in the way he does stuff. And I think that's why he's got to where he is in a way, because he doesn't really miss steps out. He knows exactly what he's doing, and it's very planned and coordinated.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it. And you can sort of see that in the stuff he puts out as well. But next for AT, I'd just sort of along them lines. I just got a few Sealson bags that come through, and I love that sort of technical love.
Yeah, isn't it? All the ripped stop, all the colours. I was out with Liam the other day, foot down Liam.
Yeah.
And he's got a load of Sealson bags, and they just look legit,
It's not bad, man, don't they?
Yeah.
Stretchy pockets, drawstrings, a lot. I love them.
Nice.
But yeah, just sort of going out, testing new gear, and taking it to places that I've not been. Taking them abroad and just sort of trying to work on. I've always wanted to do like a few more campaign style vids. Like mini projects, focus on little projects that I wrote with, like build a team, work on something, get the clobber in and go out and create at the end of the day.
Well, let's just touch on before we finish, like a couple of things that we've done together. Like, we worked on a little shoot for a Barbour sub line, didn't we? What was it? Was it Barbour specifically? Was it Barbour?
I'm pretty sure it was Barbour, I think it was Barbour, and then the collection was like Barbour 22 or something like that.
Yeah,
it was like it was like a Barbour collection that they put out. Yeah, they just sent out quite a mixed load of gear. There was like that mad wax jacket with a matching hat.
Yeah.
A couple fleeces. Crazy gear, pigeon shooting gear, wasn't it?
Yeah,
like it was. And
it's nuts because that's such a British heritage brand that would have had a very specific type of person.
Niche, yeah. So I was shocked when they got into contact.
So when they get in touch with you, young ethnic minority people, and dress an audience that they wouldn't normally try and appeal to in that, that's when they can create something a little bit different, I think.
Well, there you go. It's sort of just been, I think that's that all-terrain aspect that I've sort of been seeing more and more recently, is things coming at like right angles that I never expected. And brands sort of coming in saying that, oh yeah, we like that sort of lifestyle connection with the outdoors and the sort of way you put clothes that aren't meant to be in places, and that, I think that's the beauty of it for me, is it's just allowed me to create and connect with people like yourself and bring out people's skills, whether that's like video making, photography. It's allowed me just to connect with all these different type of guys and showcase it on the platform.
Sick, man. Final question for you, Kian. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you care about clothes?
Is it bad if I take something that Danny said yesterday?
Go on.
He said from 0 to 10, didn't he?
Yeah.
And at first I was going to say, right, 10. But I think what he said is so true. He said, at times, I don't care, man. I'll just put a pair of my joggers on, whatever's next to me, whatever's fastest to put on.
Yeah.
And I think even what Matt said before him was the weather and your surroundings, where you live. I think that's a big impact. So that maybe is like a 4 and 5 when you care a bit more about, because you don't want to get wet or this and that. And then I'd probably say like the 10, when you get that final outfit, that outfit that you've been searching for years and years and years.
You'll literally travel across the globe to get it.
There you go. And you've got the full outfit, and you have your one day where you're gonna wear it, and that's the 10 for me. Whether it be like your family meal, or I don't know, like your birthday or something like that. But it comes out on that special occasion, Derby Day. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them, man.
We can't beat him on the pitch, but at least have to dress better than
There you go.
outfit.
There you go. But I think it's a range, mate. At times it just, at times I really don't care, and other times I'll stress.
Yeah, man.
I'll stress, but no, it's nice, man.
Nice one, man. Thanks for doing it, Kian. Appreciate it, man.
Worry.
Big up.
Legend.
Cheers, dude.
Bosh.
Yes, big up Kian and AT95, top bunch of people. Go and give them a follow on the socials and get onto one of their community treks. They're dead welcoming and they get stuff done. Thanks to you lot for being here. You know where we're at on the socials if you want to let us know what you thought of the eps. Drop us a comment, share a reel, something like that. Cool. That's a wrap on another episode of My Own Garms. We'll be back with a fit pick breakdown later on this week. See you then.